think you can't smell my breath. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Siobhan and today we're going to be doing a first impressions and review of L'Oreal Infallible Total Coverage Foundation. Now, I bought this the other day because it is like brand new basically. It's only been out like a few weeks, months, years, no. And I thought, why not try it out on camera, tell you all my thoughts, tell you things about the foundation and see how we get on. So let's just talk about the foundation. It's meant to be a full coverage matte foundation, which is perfect for me because I am oily. I get oily right in the middle of my face, and it's meant to be the fullest coverage ever, and it's drugstore. I'm pretty sure I got it for like £10. I went into the shop, they had all the shades. I think there is not that many shades. I think there's about 6 shades. I could be wrong, they only had about 6 there. And the really weird thing is, it starts from 9, I think it goes 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 type deal. But the weird thing was, you would think that 9 would be the lightest and 14 would be, you know, the darkest shade they have. But no, it was really strange. When I went in, you know, took a little swatch on my hand, 9 was a lot darker than 10. It goes from like dark, light, dark, 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 dark. Do you know what I mean? It was just really, really weird. That's something that I noticed when I was going to purchase it. So if you are very, very fair skin toned, I don't think this is going to work for you unless you have a little trick I do. If something doesn't suit my skin tone, I've got you. This. Now, the Body Shop's Shade Adjusting Drops. It's basically a dropper of like white in it, as you can see there. Doesn't change the coverage, it just lightens it. As you can see, it's kind of made my hand lighter right there. It just helps, and it smells amazing. It smells really, really like creamy and just lovely. I use this when a foundation doesn't match me, or if I'm doing makeup on someone else. It's easy to use the foundation that you already have and match it to their skin tone. So yes, you can do this if you're a lighter skin tone and you want to try out this foundation, because their shades are not that great. This is good, you should get this. I think this was £10 as well, which is really good because you only need a couple of drops. I think it's like every drop makes like a half a shade or a shade lighter than your foundation, so that was great. So yes, I have oily skin and I am a little bit dry around my nose, but majority of it is oily. I don't have anything on my face right now, so yeah, let's just jump right into using it. Just going to be using this Real Techniques foundation brush, buffing brush, and I'm just going to like pat it on. Because it is full coverage, I want to see how much coverage I can get instead of swiping it all over my face or using a beauty blender that's going to like take a little bit of the foundation off. I'm going to be using this to kind of pack it on and see how much coverage I get. You get 1 fluid ounce of this, I think. So yeah, I got it in the shade 10 Porcelain, and it's meant to be a full coverage long wear foundation weightless feel. So let's just put a little bit on the back of my hand. Oh, it is very, very thick. I've noticed that when you rub it, it's very moussey and thick, which I quite like. I like quite thick foundations if they're going to be full coverage. I have no problem with that. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. So I'm just going to dab this on. Seems to be a good match, I suppose. Put my hair out of the way. So I'm just going to dot it on everywhere. And we'll see how we get on. I have quite a lot of redness around my mouth area and a little bit around my nose, so we'll see if that covers that up. I also do have redness on my cheeks, but not as much. Blemish wise, don't really get many blemishes on my cheeks, so we'll see how it goes. I've used about 2 full pumps of this foundation. Take my brush, I'm I'm just going to pat that in. I would say it is kind of full coverage. I would say that it's definitely medium to full coverage. I like, compared to my Estee Lauder Double Wear, I feel like that has got a lot more coverage. This, and they're both meant to be matte, but this is definitely a lot matter, I would say. Okay, I might just zoom you guys in so you can see how it looks. So yeah, you can kind of see that it's sticking to some of the dry patches around my nose, but the rest of my face looks not a bad coverage. I've got a little bit of a moustache growing in, so don't mind that. But yeah, it kind of, yeah, it's really, really nice. It's very, very matte. I feel like I wouldn't even need to powder, but obviously I'm going to because that's what I usually do. So this is definitely for people who are more oil, have more oil on their face than someone else who doesn't. I'm going to try and go in with a second layer, see if it's buildable or anything like that. So I'm just going to dab this because I feel like I need more coverage on my chin, or definitely on the foreheads, and a little bit on my cheeks. So kind of everywhere. Seems to be a good colour match, which is great because I have a little bit of tan left over. It could have been a little bit darker, if I would admit. In the camera you can't really tell. Seems to be quite buildable, which is good. So if you want more coverage on certain parts of your face, it should be okay. And I'm just putting a little bit more on my forehead and buffing that in. And yeah, that makes much more of a difference, I feel. Not too much. Yes, so that is it. I really like this foundation. Yeah, the only kind of thing I could really say is if you've got any kind of dry skin, then I would try and avoid those spaces. If you really like the coverage for the rest of your face, like maybe your cheeks. But for me, on my nose, I've got quite a dry nose, even though it's still oily. It's really weird. My thoughts are, this is a great foundation if you are oily. If you're even remotely tiny little bit dry, it will pick up on that. So I feel like if you want this for the coverage for any other parts of your faces that are not dry, I definitely would recommend this. My skin is a lot drier right now, but I feel like during summer and things like that, my skin does get a little bit more oily. And I feel like that's when this would come in handy, or on nights out because it's quite full coverage. I'm not sure how long it lasts, so I'm going to wear this for the rest of the day, I think, and then I'll come back at the end of the night and see how I get on. I don't know how the length's gonna be, but looking good right now. I'm just going to do my base quickly, and then I'll come back at the end and show you how I get on. So yeah, and it just every time. always break something every time I do a video.
Did you drop my camera again?
No. I dropped this. I like fell, like I went like hit my hand off it.
Do your viewers know you're half naked?
They do now. He is so getting it. Nose looks really brown, and I think it's because I dipped into the bronzer while I was doing my highlight, and now it looks really, really stupid. Anyway, I don't care. What the fuck? What's going on? This is great, isn't it? Anyway, okay, so the impressions right now before I go on with the rest of my day. I like it. It's full coverage, definitely buildable. You have to play about with the shade, I suppose, depending on, obviously, if you're a lighter skin toned, you can use these enhancer drops from Body Shop. They're very, very cheap. They're only like 10 quid. and they last forever. If you have any kind of dry skin, I feel like this will not be for you, but there is definitely other foundations out there that will work for you. But that's not my final impressions. I'm going to wait during the day and see how we get on and see if it's even worth the hype. I feel like it probably will be for a tenner and you're getting a full coverage foundation, which is very, very rare. For drugstore, you have to pay like 30 quid for like an Estee Lauder double wear, which is definitely full coverage. For, you know, it's like definitely worth the money, I would say, to try it out. But this foundation is probably worth the money. It is only £10 and you're getting a matte full coverage foundation, which is, it does exactly what it says on the tin. We will see. We'll see how we get on. So I'm going to go about the rest of my day. I'm going to do my eye makeup. I have no idea what I'm going to do. It is 25 to 4 even. So yeah, this is going to be a very short day probably. I'm not sure what we're going to do later. I'll come back and I'll let you know my final thoughts on how it lasts. But yeah, a lot of rambling in this video, but you know, that's life. Anyway, I will check back in at the end of the day and we'll see how it gets on. Yes, so if you want to see how I get on for during the day with this, stay tuned. Hi. It is the end of the day and it is about 10:32 to be exact. The makeup, excuse my dry lips, is staying, a spot. It's staying on pretty well actually. I would say that the makeup stayed on quite well actually. It's not faded very much. No, I would say it looks pretty decent for being on for about 6 hours. Yeah, I would say that it stays on very, very well for the amount of time I was wearing it. It didn't fade, it didn't, you know, separate or anything like that, as you can see. Texture coming through, to be fair, that's about it really. Yeah, I would say that this is a good foundation for someone who wants to have matte full coverage base. Yeah, I would say so. I would say that this is good for that. Sorry about the lighting. I'm using this other camera because my other camera is charging. I would say that this is got a thumbs up for me. I'd definitely recommend it, especially for the price, 10 quid. Can't really go wrong. Yeah, I would say that it looks great. If you like videos like this where I kind of like review products that you want to know about, then please give this a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel because that would be great. And yes, I shall see you later.